Guys, gals, non-binary pals, I have an announcement to make. I was wrong. That is because 1 year ago I made this video explaining why AcceleRacers can never come back, and I'm very happy to announce that I was proven wrong. I understand I'm a little late to the party on this, but this is a very exciting time to be an AcceleRacers fan because for the first time in over, 20 years, we are getting AcceleRacers back on store shelves. And what's even cooler about this is that they're going to be the exact same price that the original cars were. That's because unlike the mainline release of Teco Dior 2 and the new RDO6, these are not going to be your standard $1 mainlines. Instead, they're going to be put in the Silver Series, making them a bit more premium, meaning that these cars are going to have a bit more budget, allowing them to have more detail. But here they are. Here are the brand new Silver Series AcceleRacers cars, and they look beautiful. They look just as good as the originals. Now, because these are new castings, they are new versions of these molds, there are a few inaccuracies and there are a few things that they're doing differently. For example, this RDO9 has a different engine, but honestly, I think this newer engine makes the car look cooler. And the tampos are on the actual proper back wing now. Something you might have noticed, and I picked this picture of Iridium just because it has the easiest wheels to see them on, are of course the wheels themselves. These are going to be one-piece wheels with a CM6-like design stamped on them. So they're no longer using the cold mold wheels that the original cars have, but they're trying to pay tribute to that. They're trying to keep that really cool translucent tire design that the original cars had, while also making sure that the rim is still visible and still there. And honestly, I think this works, and it feels very similar to the original Hot Wheels McDonald's toy cars that did the exact same thing. But another thing I want to point out is that these are the prototypes. These are still a work in progress. That's why some of the colors don't exactly match and why they still look a little bit off, and that's why obviously the cars have number stamps on them. Obviously the Metal Maniacs cars are going to have different wheels. Now I can't tell if these are brand new wheels or if these are just regular ones that are painted a special way, but if they are new, even better, because that tells me that all of the Metal Maniacs cars that they make in the future, if they decide to make more, they're going to use these wheels. And finally, the one you've all been waiting for, the one you've all been the most excited for, we are finally getting Reverb. However, it's not going to be called Reverb, it's going to be called Revert because of copyright issues. Now, there is some good news and some bad news. The bad news is this is going to be your chase car because it is going to be one per case. However, the reason for that is because they are putting the most amount of detail, making sure that this is the most screen accurate out of all of the cars. Sadly, the Teco Slingshot was not ready in time, so that way they can line it up with the rest of the cars, but we have this image to go off of, and as you can see, this car is also going to be utilizing the new CM6s. What's interesting is that this car never got the blue tire treatment, so this might just get regular old CM6s. Also, yes, I do know that it is incorrect to call these CM6s. These are brand new wheels that they did give out the name for, I just do not remember the name for these new wheels. Comparing them to their original versions, there are things that these newer cars do better. For example, the paint and the decals do look better than some of the original cars. However, there's just no replacing those iconic CM6s. But what's especially exciting is that they have already stated that if these sell well, they will consider making more cars, which means that not only can we get the other cars from the series, but we even have potential to maybe even see these Season 2 cars. The only thing is that if they did make these cars, I really doubt they're going to give them their transformation gimmick that the original toys were supposed to have, but the fact that they even consider making these cars after all this time, despite Season 2 being cancelled, would just be so epic. They have already shown that they are willing to make cars that never got the diecast treatment in the original run, so this opens the doors and the potential to so many other awesome AcceleRacers cars that, just like these two, never got diecast treatments in the original line. This would be a pretty cool way to give us each team's respective motorcycle because, believe it or not, but each team did have a motorcycle. Because Silver Series usually has 4 to 5 cars, it would be an easy way to fill out the entire wave. And if they really felt ambitious, they could maybe even give us a track fleet Old Smoky. If they were to utilize that concept, it is very important that they make it a track fleet and not a super rigs. That's because track fleet are the ones that are actually designed to go on Hot Wheels track, something that Old Smokey actually does in the show. They could even throw in the test car in one of the waves. However, because we know that the test car will eventually become Flathead Fury, I have a pretty interesting way they could go about that, so just hear me out. I think they should make a brand new casting for Flathead Fury that allows you to remove the body, turning it into the test car, and they should make that the chase car for that wave. Do I think they'll do it? No. They might not even have the budget to do it, but with Hot Wheels, you never know. So with these brand new Silver Series AcceleRacers cars set to release as early as July of this year, and going for about $3 a pop, which is roughly the price as the original AcceleRacers back in the day, I think it's safe to say that we are so back. But now I want to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts of these brand new AcceleRacers hitting the Silver Series, and how many of them are you gonna buy? And what other cars do you think we could potentially get in this brand new Silver Series AcceleRacers subline? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave it a like, and most importantly, subscribe as it greatly helps out the channel. And as always, thank you for watching.